We're going to take a moment to look at the interaction of the dominant and auxiliary functions in each type, and how the auxiliary function really provides the balance, but it is used in the service of a dominant function. Dominant extroverted thinking belong to the ESTJ and the ENTJ. The dominant extroverted thinking of the ESTJ focuses on developing and implementing plans that will achieve clear goals as efficiently as possible. They're assisted by their auxiliary introverted sensing, which stores a wealth of practical information about things operate in the real world. And if data gets in the way of completing their tasks, they will put the data aside in favor of a structure that makes more sense with their thinking logic. They then will ignore new or contradictory information that challenges these structures that they have put into place. The ENTJ also uses the dominant extroverted thinking, which focuses on creating logical systems in the world to achieve their long-term goals. They are assisted in this by their auxiliary introverted intuition, and that leads them to explore ideas and possibilities and to really notice interesting patterns. They love the stimulation of talking and debating. They gather insights that can apply to the real world. However, their drive to structure their external environment through logical analysis is so strong that they will find ingenious ways to bring perception into line with their logical system. Dominant introverted thinking. The auxiliary extroverted sensing leads an ISTP to be observant and tolerant. Others find them very easygoing. When they perceive that something is not logical or efficient, however, they suddenly express their dominant introverted thinking. Then others are going to realize that the ISTP has been secretly categorizing, analyzing, and critiquing. Their dominant thinking will also sometimes lead them to choose and censor which data they will notice and to organize the data to support any conclusions. An INTP also uses an auxiliary extroverted intuition, and this leads them to effectively take in information, process it, and communicate ideas. When an intuition about something important is not logical and reasonable within their internal systems, the INTP will generally discount their intuition and go with their introverted thinking. These systems of understanding also influence the information that INTPs pay attention to and the way that they take in new information. Dominant extroverted feeling. The ESFJ uses the dominant extroverted feeling to focus on established cooperation and producing goodwill in their environment. They use their auxiliary introverted sensing to solicit and store detailed information about people and to support others in practical ways. They have an access to a wealth of specific information, and no fact is as important to them as to show how others are feeling and whether their environment is completely harmonious. As a result, they sometimes seem to be blind to unpleasant facts and especially regard people close to them. The ENFJ uses a dominant extroverted feeling to design and implement ways for people to reach their complete potential. They facilitate, encourage, and develop the growth in others. They use their auxiliary introverted intuition to read people and quickly assess the needs and possibilities of others. Their focus on cooperation, compatibility, and encouragement, however, can sometimes lead them to ignore the signs of conflict and undesirable behavior of those around them. Dominant introverted feeling. An ISFP uses their auxiliary extroverted sensing to finely attune to their external environment. They notice people and the natural world around them. They're flexible, adaptable, and sympathetic. However, their most important quality is the internal core of values by which they evaluate everything. These values typically focus on supporting people and on the practical cure and care for the natural environment. If their core values are violated, they can firmly extrovert this inner core and refuse to adapt or flexible, go along with the actions that they find wrong. The INFP uses their auxiliary extroverted intuition to be curious about people and ideas and excited about possibilities that they see for improving the world. They love to explore new ways of understanding how human beings work. However, inside of an INFP, they have a filter. This filter that is with a value system through which they evaluate ideas, people, and actions. They commit themselves intensely to people and ideas they believe in, and they oppose any anything that's going to violate any of these values. They focus on creating congruence between their inner values and their outer lives.